creation through bomb and form. The greatest to ever do it like Kareem in the form. Or Dame at the buzzer, Skip at the rucker. 96 Bulls, the GOAT, there's no other. Bulls and Goats get some wins, but never cover. The word gave the answer to sin. No stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, first and foremost, welcome to Behind the Plays. But more importantly, Eric. Hi.
What's up?
Both of our teams are 4-win teams and above 500. When's the last time that's happened in the podcast? Come week 8.
Never?
I don't
Question
think so.
mark?
I think it's literally been like you guys were decent that season. We were terrible. And then we've been good for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's great. I mean, dude. I had to whip out my Jalen Hurts jersey. It actually hasn't gotten worn since like week 1.
I'm wearing a Broncos t-shirt. I haven't worn Broncos stuff since... Actually, no, I have been wearing... I wore Broncos stuff. I wear Broncos stuff on Sundays.
I haven't because I work on Sundays.
Yeah.
However...
I wear Broncos stuff to work on Thursday.
Beautiful. I love that.
My coworkers give me trash. They're like, "You're a Broncos fan?" I'm like, "Can I have this one thing?"
Can I have one thing? And right now, one of our teams is a playoff team. If season ended
It's
today,
true.
Broncos
It's
would be a
true.
playoff
And
team.
if the NFC North wasn't so stupid raw, both of ours could potentially be.
Yeah, we're 4-2. I actually don't know what the tiebreaker is with the Bears right now. Is it because they've only played 2 conference games and they won both of them, and we're 3-2 in our conference right now? With our losses coming to both NFC North teams, I'm pretty sure. No.
Maybe.
No, I'm sorry. We lost to both NFC South teams.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. Doesn't matter. Let's move on. We're ready. It's a good week to be a Eagles-Broncos fan. That is for darn sure. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Behind the Plays. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, do whatever you got to do wherever you are at. Today's docket is a little bit of trade talk. We've seen some rumors circulating the Twitterverse, so we wanted to talk about them. We're going to talk about the Broncos game. We're going to talk about the Eagles game. We're going to go a couple of highlight games each. We're going to go through Week 7 pred records, which another tight race, and we're going to go through our Week 8 predictions. So let's kick it off with some trade talk. You brought up an interesting one that I did see but didn't have as much information. Matt Stafford potential, and where was he heading?
That's kind of the big highlight match, or big highlight possible trade talk here. And it would be crazy if this happens, but there's possibly rumors that Matt Stafford gets flipped to the Vikings in exchange for Sam Darnold and, whatever other compensation, however that deals out. The rumor is that the Vikings are interested in dealing for Matt Stafford because Kevin O'Connell, the head coach, before he was the head coach in Minnesota, was the OC in LA when they won the Super Bowl.
Right.
And LA is interested in possibly giving Sam Darnold, who spent some time there as a backup before he went to San Francisco as a backup before he became the starter in Minnesota, possibly giving him a long-term deal.
Oh.
It seems like the Vikings want to win now and think Matt Stafford can help them. It seems like the Rams are ready to rebuild and think Sam Darnold can help them, which is interesting. If this happens, I don't know how to feel, because I kind of feel like the Vikings are rolling with Sam Darnold.
And he's playing well.
And it's
But
just a matter of how far can Sam Darnold take the Vikings?
Yeah, my biggest thing with that is, I was going to say the same thing. How far can Sam Darnold take the Vikings? But, the only game they've lost so far this season was a 2-point game to the Lions. And that game, they played well, right?
They did.
I don't know, man. It's a tough call, I think, for all parties. Obviously, Matt Stafford has won a Super Bowl, and I think, obviously, with the weapons that the Vikings do have would elevate.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is that the Rams are getting back their players. Puka Nacua just got reactivated off the IR. Cooper Kupp is back in action this week.
Provided he also
doesn't
going to get traded, because
which
he's
I've
also
seen
a name
rumors.
that's getting floated, yeah.
Yeah, I saw him to the Eagles.
The Eagles can't have everybody, Davion. We've been over this.
No. I understand that. I don't want Cooper Kupp. I don't know why I was going to say, why are we even in talks with that to get him when we have A.J. Brown, we have Devontae Smith, we have Jahan Dotson. I guess if you want to give up Jahan Dotson, dude, that would be the best wide receiver room in the league. I don't think it'd be close.
I wouldn't mind Cooper Cup to the Broncos. I could see that happening.
That'd be a cool trade.
Josh Reynolds just hit IR, so
You
he
guys
was
have
kind of our two guy.
your rookie's not doing too bad this season so far.
Devon Vele, Troy Franklin have
Franklin.
gotten started.
I like him.
They've started to get involved.
I like
Troy Franklin kind of just started getting involved. He didn't do anything the first few weeks.
Yeah, but he's been cooking lately.
Yeah,
But
I think
yeah,
I
it's
think the
just-
Josh Reynolds injury has helped him get a chance.
Yeah. Sometimes it's all it takes. Is just an opportunity.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
I think the Broncos are top 10 in cap space right now, like available cap space too.
That's
I think
cool.
they're like, I think I saw something on Twitter. I want to say they were the ninth most cap space in the league.
Mm.
So we could potentially afford somebody like Cooper Cup if
would
that's
help.
a move we wanted to make.
I think that'd be a great trade, especially since you guys, personally, I think you're winning more games than we expected. At this point, 4-3 is phenomenal. So I'd like that. Stafford to the Vikings. I'm honestly, my personal opinion is I think Stafford. We know what he's bringing to the table. I think he could bring you to that next level. The problem is his age, and I think having Darnold there, you guys are 5-1. You're trying to compete with the Lions. It's hard regardless. It's just like you only lost by 2. Is that going to matter in the long term? Because at this point, we feel like you're making the playoffs. You're going to get there. Can you win on the road in the playoffs? Can you try to overtake the Lions, lose a game or two because they look like they're strong? But do you think Matthew Stafford is that missing piece is the big thing? Or can you distribute those assets somewhere else and actually give yourself another piece that wins you, that helps you win? So that's my thing. I don't mind it, but I mean, I feel like that's just a shot at Darnold for no reason. You know, feels like what the Browns did with Baker Mayfield when that was just, I felt like it was stupid.
Right. It felt like it didn't need to happen.
Exactly. Speaking of the Browns, the other big one outside of Cooper Cup I've seen is Myles Garrett. And I've seen a lot of different places for him. I've heard the Niners floated. I've heard the Bears is a big one. Been in trade talks, and we know they have the assets to pull that type of stuff off and the cap space because a lot of they got a lot of young players on their books. Those are the two names I've seen floated the most. And I think the Bears makes a ton of sense because, again, they're in that same situation. They're 4-2. They're winning more games than we kind of expected them to. And, I mean, adding a defensive guy like that to the team makes sense for the Browns to actually move off of him. They would probably get, regardless, a first-round pick and maybe a third-round pick at probably at worst, by the way, for that. So they obviously could potentially get more depending on how many people are interested in Myles Garrett and how many people, what teams are willing to give up. But a first and a third feels like maybe even a first and a conditional third.
Yeah.
So, who knows?
It makes sense. I was actually just looking at this to make sure that my claim was true. The Broncos next year have the 10th biggest cap space in the league.
Yeah, like
but it makes sense why
130 million or something crazy like that next season.
Yeah, it's 137 million. They by far have they're the number one. Washington is 123 million.
That's terrifying.
Arizona has 115 million. Vegas has 108 million. Minnesota 80. Chargers 76. Tennessee and Detroit 73. And then Pittsburgh and Denver have 72 million. The Bears have 70 million. Everybody else is below that.
Yeah.
But it makes sense why the Browns in particular are making the moves that they are, getting rid of Amari Cooper, possibly moving off of Myles Garrett. They
have nothing
next year, 41 million over the cap.
Yeah, and I mean a big reason is that is their quarterback. They're giving him all this guaranteed money, and he's done nothing. So they need to rebuild.
Yeah. There's 3 teams right now over the salary cap.
The Saints have like negative 80 or something crazy like that.
That's the one I was gonna mention. Is the Seahawks are barely over. They're like 740,000 over the cap.
They cut some player and they get their fine.
Yeah. The Browns are over by 41 million, but the Saints are over by almost 100 million.
Yeah, it's insane how much money.
And they just re-signed Alvin Kamara today too.
Which is good. I'm glad they did because there was
Which
talk
is
about him
good.
getting traded.
Yeah, which is good for sure. But like Alvin Kamara is probably the best player on the Saints.
I don't think probably him or Cam Jordan.
Yeah, him, Cam Jordan.
They have Tyrann Mathieu,
Chris Olave maybe.
Rashid Shaheed's a better receiver than
Rashid
Olave,
Shaheed.
but he's hurt right now.
Yeah, it kind of feels like it's Alvin Kamara,
Yeah.
so it makes sense.
Definitely need to pay him. We don't want another SAQUON. I mean, we don't want another freaking running back roulette like we had this offseason. That was crazy. There were like 10 running backs that changed teams, and they were big name running backs.
Yeah, so it makes sense the Browns are making the moves that they are. I mean, Miles Garrett is kind of the iconic Brown right now, I think.
Correct.
Like since
He's the best player on their
since
team.
probably Joe Thomas,
Yeah.
like he's the Cleveland Brown.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to be fair, the Broncos pulled something very similar with Von Miller,
Correct.
and Von Miller won a Super Bowl out of it. So, I don't think he was complaining too much.
Right. And it all comes down to where is he going? Is it going to help? Because the trade deadline's week 8, right? So we're coming up to that.
I believe so.
We're coming up on
we're
that.
Getting closer. Yeah, the one interesting one though is this possible Stafford for Darnold flip.
Which feels weird, but
because
I would be intrigued.
We are
by it.
recording. We're recording this Tuesday afternoon, by the way.
Yeah. So October 22nd is the day.
Do you by chance know who's playing in 48 hours?
Yeah, the Vikings and the Rams.
Which would be insane if, hypothetically, let's say Sam Darnold and Matt Stafford got traded tomorrow.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Could you imagine they flip for each other tomorrow? That'd be so stupid. They'd do it after. They'd have
to do it after.
They would
They're
probably
not
be like,
stupid.
okay, we agree to this deal. We're not gonna put it through to the league until Friday.
Yeah, we're not gonna tell anybody we're doing it either.
Just GMs know. Yeah, it feels interesting. That's for sure. I just, I wish there was more. I just wish they trust Darnold more. I think he's doing his job, and I hope that they continue to ride
I think
with
so
him.
too.
I really like him, so I hope they continue to ride with it. So
Yeah, me
that's
too.
just my opinion, though.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good move for either team. I could see Stafford moving on from the Rams if he still wants to play, maybe in the offseason. I don't think the Rams cut Stafford in the middle of the year.
No, that'd be stupid.
I think there are a lot of teams that I think would benefit from picking up somebody like Stafford. Depending on what the Browns do with Deshaun Watson, I know obviously they're locked in for the next few years.
Or they could just go the Eagles route and just cut them and cut their losses like Carson Wentz.
Exactly. They could just try to cut their losses. I think Stafford to the Browns makes sense. Stafford to Tennessee.
Same thing with the Giants. Similar situation with the Giants and Daniel
Stafford
Jones.
to New York, even potentially.
Yeah, I can see a lot of different situations, but I don't know. I feel like it's not Stafford's
Stafford to
fault that they're not
Vegas.
doing well. They're just
It's
kind of
not.
it's all injuries.
No, it's just it's a bunch of injuries, and the Rams. I don't think we thought they were going to be a great team. We thought they were going to be a good team.
Yeah, and I still think they can be. Like it's what
I think they can be. Yeah.
But they're their division is tough, of course, but right now their division isn't as tough as it has been because the Niners
their division's
suck.
super winnable.
So
the Niners
they're only 2-4 without their best
Niners
players.
have been ripped to shreds, and the Seahawks are leading the division at 4-3.
Right, they're a game and a half behind, right? Like they're right there. So I think there's a chance. And it's just all a matter of that right now. Of what they're getting people back, people are getting healthy, then they have a chance there. And yeah, I think the Niners we'll talk about it later, but I don't have a lot of faith in them anymore. Especially with Ayuk injury out for season.
Yep.
Who knows when McCaffrey, they say week 10, but it could be never. Who knows?
Yeah. The 49ers' healthiest receiver is a dude who got shot a few weeks ago.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah, my thing is I hope in trade talks, if the Eagles make any move like they have the last few seasons, I hope they get an edge rusher. It doesn't have to be Myles Garrett. Obviously, I think that's the best case scenario for the Eagles. But if someone wants to sell an edge, I'd be real appreciative if the Eagles went out and got him for a second or a third or a fourth or something crazy. We have a lot of capital, just something. Maybe even a Max Crosby if they're willing to move off of him. I don't believe they should, but if they do, I'd appreciate it a ton.
If they do.
I'd appreciate it a ton.
Max Crosby was one of the biggest advocates for Antonio Pierce being the head coach, and now that the Raiders are 2-5, it would be kind of messed up if Max Crosby left.
Oh, I mean, not his fault. If he gets traded though.
Yeah, it's not, but yeah, I think Broncos are kind of in a similar situation where I feel like their defense is really good, and I like our defensive pieces.
I think everything on
I want to say we're leading a lot of defensive statistics.
Yeah,
in
you guys
the league.
are great.
And then I think just our offense needs just a bit of a boost. So I wouldn't mind somebody like
you need a
Cooper
weapon.
Kupp.
Yeah, you need a weapon. If you get someone like Cooper, oh my gosh, that team would be so fun. Oh man, dude.
Yeah, there was a period in time where do you remember that meme of Squidward? The background's all red and he's just pointing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where people are just like, I sentence you to this or whatever.
Yeah.
It's used not appropriately, typically, is how I see it. However, one time, the point earlier in the season when the Bengals were talking about T. Higgins, um, the top reply was that being that said Bronco. So I could potentially see somebody like T. Higgins maybe
That'd be
sliding
crazy.
over to Denver, maybe. Who knows?
Knows? But yeah, I do hope the Eagles go out and get an edge because I think that's our weakest position right now. I think our linebackers, Nakobe Dean and Zach Bond, have actually been playing extremely well.
And the Eagles secondary is crazy good.
They're playing out of their minds. Darius
Yeah.
Slay. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about the Eagles game in a minute because I definitely have some opinions, and I have some really strong opinions when we get there. And it's all good things. I have nothing negative to say about the Eagles this game.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. All right. Well, speaking of favorite teams, the Broncos. We've talked about some things that we have on our wish list. If the Eagles and the Broncos could do, be nice to get a weapon, nice to get an edge for us. The Broncos went out on America Thursday Night Football right there on Amazon Prime. Walked into New Orleans and just said to the Saints. And 33-10, 23-point win for the Denver Broncos, Eric.
Yeah, it probably should have been a 30-point win, but the Saints scored like at the last minute for like no fucking reason, but whatever.
Confidence.
Broncos defense played insanely well, and the Broncos running attack really got going. This is the first game it really felt like we got Javonte Williams moving this year. 14 carries, 88 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Bo Nix also had 10 carries for 75 yards. He also threw 16 and 26 for 164 yards. You know, that's like a rookie Lamar Jackson stat. You know, like a do it enough.
Yeah.
And the Broncos defense played insanely well. At the end of the day, the Saints were very, very hurt this game. So I'm not surprised, but I am certainly happy that we won by that much.
Yeah, no, it's a big win.
Troy Franklin really got involved. We were talking about him earlier. 5 catches, 50 yards. He was the leading receiver this game.
He was.
And I think ultimately they're looking at him to be the final piece of this receiving core, possibly the 2 spot behind Cortland Sutton, who, by the way, didn't touch the ball this game, which that made me upset for fantasy reasons, but win's a win, I guess. It is what it is.
Yeah,
I don't,
right.
care. Yeah. All of that said, however, there is one thing we still need to talk about with this.
Okay.
The Broncos suck. I have no faith. I'm not doing it.
Right.
That's it.
Well, I'm looking a little bit ahead. You guys play the Panthers this week at home.
Should be a winnable game.
Then you go on the road to play
Panthers
the Ravens.
in Denver.
Tough.
We should get our shit rocked.
Yeah.
Then we go to Kansas City.
Then you go to
We
Kansas
should
City.
get our shit rocked.
And then
But
you're,
then-
5-5, and then you get the Falcons, Raiders, which both of those are winnable. You get the
Falcons,
Browns,
Raiders, Browns,
winnable.
winnable.
Bye.
Bye.
Huge
Colts,
bye week.
winnable.
Colts winnable, especially with what's going on in injuries. Talk with them. Chargers, which is
Chargers.
winnable. Bengals,
Chargers is a toss-up. We did lose to the Chargers in Denver.
yeah, but I still
You
feel
know?
like it's winnable, especially since it's week 16 and you guys are. I think you're improving as the season's
Yeah.
going along. And then you end the season Bengals Chiefs, which kind of sucks, but you get the Chiefs at home, and at this point the Chiefs could be resting players
Yeah.
based off how the season's going, and who knows with the Bengals.
So then, by our math, best case maybe a 10-7 season for the Broncos.
Yeah, 11-6, 10-7. Worst case, like an 8-9. That's, I mean, I think
With
that's,
Broncos better not go 8-9. I go ballistic at the Broncos. I'd rather we never win. I'd rather we not win a game all year than go 8-9 again.
Yeah, when's the last
Because
time you guys
all
been
I-
above 500?
2016.
Above 5? You guys haven't won. You haven't been above 500 since then?
Mhm.
That's insane.
We were in 2016, the year after we won the Super Bowl. We went 9-7, and we were the first team out of the playoffs. And we haven't been above 500 since.
Okay. There you go.
That's when we had basically every player that we had the year before, but with Trevor Siemian. And believe it or not, Trevor Siemian was not Peyton Manning, so we went 9-7.
Yeah, that makes sense because he retired. Yeah, that was the. Yeah, that makes sense. Tough.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep, and I don't think we've been above 500 since.
Oh, this
That's
could
been
be
my
the
goal
year.
every year was above 500. So if we go 8-9, I'm gonna go ape shit. Please let us
Yeah,
go
well,
9-8 at least. Or
yeah.
if
Well,
we're
you
not
guys
gonna go
are
9 and
4-3.
8, I'd rather we be 7-10 than 8-9.
That's funny.
You know, straight up.
Well, you guys are 4-3. You guys are currently
Mm-hmm.
holding on to the 7th seed, which is
Mm-hmm.
something to look forward to, at least for now. I mean, this defense is so good. You never know with this type of team. Bo Nix is kind of seeing like he's getting more comfortable as the weeks go on, and I'm hopefully
Mm-hmm.
he can get into a position where he's throwing the ball like he has been. If Jaden Daniels didn't exist, he's probably my favorite quarterback in the class right now, and that's saying a lot. This
Yeah,
is a
that
strong
is saying a
class.
lot.
This is a strong class. Like outside of Jaden, I think I think he's my second favorite. Bo Nix.
Yeah. Speaking of favorites, by the way, we were talking about this last week, so I want to bring this up real quick.
Yeah, hit it.
Lamar Jackson has officially overtaken Pat Mahomes in the Vegas odds for MVP,
Thank God.
which is, it seems
He
like
had to throw for
something's
5
finally
fucking
right.
touchdowns just to do it.
Yeah.
Crazy, dude. Ridiculous. Anyway. Yeah, no, I definitely like what y'all got going on over there in Denver. I think I feel like there's things to build on finally. It feels like there hasn't been a lot to build on in a lot of years. And now you have you have some good pieces on defense. You have a quarterback finally with maybe some form of consistency. Now get some weapons. O-line doesn't look too bad. Maybe the running game can improve when you get weapons because you can stretch the field a little bit better. It's like we're warming up to it. Let's see how that works. So I like it.
Yep.
And
Okay,
I've noticed we
let's talk-
share a brain on a lot of things. So I think you feel the same way.
Yeah, I agree. I'm pretty much the same thing.
All right.
All right. So Broncos won by 23. Eagles won by 25.
28-3. We sacked Daniel Jones 8
Can we
times.
real quick? Shout out to 28-3, by the way. 28-3,
Why is this?
like the Patriots and the
Oh,
Falcons.
true. It is 28-3. We just
That's
kept
just a
it.
pair of funny numbers.
It is a pair of funny numbers. Sorry, my pair of funny numbers is always 38-7 with the Eagles. That's my favorite pair of numbers. Which, by the way, last time we matched up with the Giants in the playoffs, that's how much we beat them by.
I get it's so weird. It's so weird how numbers like that are have effects on us like that. Like I get scared of fucking 43-8 because that was the
With good
Broncos
reason.
Seahawks score.
Good
Yeah.
reason.
24
good
to 10
reason.
is a goated number.
Yeah. Oh, understandable. Yeah, 38-7. That's when we beat the Vikings to go to the Super Bowl. And of course,
And then y'all won like
is a phenomenal.
Yeah, 40. Yeah, I was gonna say 43-31, but you're right, 41-33.
Phenomenal score.
Mm-hmm.
So this game was awesome. What we didn't talk about in our predis, and I regret it every second of the day. This was the Saquon Barkley return to MetLife. And we didn't talk about it.
Yeah, he got booed.
He got
I
booed.
saw
His
that.
jerseys
I
got
saw-
burned.
Yeah, jersey burns.
And he responded with 17 carries, 176 yards, and a touchdown. So, there's this clip going around from Hard Knocks where the owner is like, I'm going to have a hard time sleeping at night if Saquon Barkley signs with the Philadelphia Eagles. And man, I don't know how the GM has a job still.
Yeah, that should be a fireable
Bro,
offense.
he needs to be caught. The biggest thing is the Eagles carried the ball 45 times. They ran the ball 45 times this game. Kenneth Gainwell was even cooking. He ran for 56 yards on 13 carries. Hurts had one big run. The other ones weren't as big, but he also got sacked a couple times. Got two touchdowns on the ground and one through the air to A.J. Brown. Dallas Goedert is out indefinitely. I think he's out for the next 2 to 3 weeks. So that's unfortunate. But I'm just happy to have a good, consistent offense. I know the Giants suck, so I'm taking it with a grain of salt, but we did sack him 8 times. Like, Nakobe Dean had 2 sacks. Jalen Carter had 2 sacks. Nolan Smith and Bryce Huff each got a sack. I don't even know who Jalix Hunt is, but he got a sack. Josh Sweat got in there, right? So, like, good plays all around. A lot of pass breakups. Speaking of pass breakups, I want to talk about the two cornerbacks that we drafted this season in Cooper DeJean and Quinion Mitchell. Quinion Mitchell is he is honestly in the makings of a all-pro cornerback. This dude, I don't know if you've seen like some of his stats, but he literally like does not allow a lot of passes. It's crazy how well he's playing. And then Cooper DeJean, after he's gotten inserted into the slot, the defense has been cooking. I know that the two teams we've played are the Browns and the Giants, and both of those teams suck. However, that doesn't take away from the fact that they've held both those teams to like 12 combined points. And I'm pretty sure no touchdowns. I don't think Cleveland scored a touchdown on us outside of the fucking kick one. So the blocked field goal return. So like those are things that I'm just looking at. Now it's things that you should be happy about. The only thing I had that I can complain about was Smitty. He caught one pass. He had 2 targets. We didn't pass the ball a lot, so it really didn't matter too much. But seeing AJ Brown go the 5 catches for 89 yards and the big 40-yard bomb on 4th and 3 where Hurts threw off his back leg while taking a hit and it just fell in the cookie jar just right into AJ Brown's hands because they keep saying that Jalen Hurts can't throw the football apparently. So yeah, they did end up pulling Daniel Jones in this game. Drew Lock got some snaps. He didn't do anything, but he was there. He participated. Yeah, nothing really else. The only I have nothing negative to say about this game. I was really pleased. I think anytime you go up against a division rival, it doesn't matter. Beating a division rival by 25 points. And if you look at the Giants, they're 2-5. But I've been telling people to look at their games because they're 2-5, but they have been keeping games really close, and that's why I'm happy that we blew them out. The only other teams that have been blowing them out, literally the only other team that blew them out was the Vikings, and they're 5-1. So the Commanders, they close game. They lost on a last-second field goal by 3. Commanders are 5-1, right? No, 5-2. They're 5-2. I'm sorry. The Dallas Cowboys, they lost by 5 points. They beat the Browns by 6. They lost to the Seahawks by 9. Or no, they beat the Seahawks by 9. They lost to the Bengals by 10. We beat them by 25 points. Like, it's just things that I like to point out. So if you look at the teams that we're like, oh well, the Bengals are about to absolutely and utterly demolish the Eagles. Will they? You just saw this team get back-to-back sacks, like put up major sacks, like 6 sacks on the Browns and then 8 on the Giants. Dude, the fucking Bengals line is Swiss cheese, bro. Let's see how that works out. So I just things I like to look at and I hope is something that I've been trying hard to just suppress a lot more because I'm trying. It gets me less upset when we lose games, how we lost games this season. But also I think this team is the makings, like new coordinators. They're starting to click. They obviously had a game plan this game and they executed it flawlessly. I mean, you wanted Saquon to do things. And my favorite thing that came out of this game, did you see the Nick Sirianni, Saquon Barkley conversation on the bench? So Saquon Barkley, career high in rushing yards was 188. So he was like 13 away. Let me double check that stat. Barkley career high rushing yards. It was 189. So he was 13 yards away from tying it. So he obviously could have gotten it. He had this, and he literally Nick Sirianni came into it. He's like, hey, I can put you back in the game, and you can get your yards and get your career high. I want this for you, right? And he's like, nah, I'm good. He's like, I'm gonna put in the backups. Then he's like, yeah, let the youngins eat or something like that. And that is immaculate. I don't understand how you come out of that and you still hate Nick Sirianni and you can't do anything but love Saquon Barkley. This team genuinely looks like they're finally deciding to click, and I hope that we can ride this momentum. Another no turnover game from Jalen Hurts is an immaculate situation. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving on it. Let's get healthy. Getting Dallas Goedert back's a big one. Getting Darius Slay healthy is a big one. He's been hurt, but the return of Sidney Brown has been awesome. They're doing a little more of that Sidney Brown, CJ Gardner-Johnson, Reed Blankenship situation, and that's exactly what I've been waiting for. But we haven't had Sidney Brown all season, so that's where it finally is maybe starting to click. So hopefully we can stay healthy. And this secondary is what was the biggest issue with the Eagles last season was the secondary. I think it's their strongest point on defense right now. And the emergence of Nakobe Dean at linebacker has been immaculate. We cannot forget that he was hurt for half the season last season, and that was a big part of it. And I'm very happy to have those guys clicking. Happy to see Isaiah Rodgers getting time in. Nolan Smith getting a sack this game. Jalen Carter coming into play. The Georgia Dogs ate this game. They ate. So I'm excited. I'm really excited for the Knicks game. I think the Bengals is going to be a tester, but I'm very happy to see the Eagles actually cooking. So it's very awesome to see. Anything else that you have for Eagles? I feel like I said a lot and I had a rant.
I got nothing. This is pretty much just a dominant victory.
Beautiful.
For the Eagles.
And we needed it very much so.
Yeah, we did. You needed it. I needed it. Like, this is a good week for us.
It was a good week for us. I had to whip out my Jalen Hurts jersey because I definitely had to mentally click in. We had to lock in for this one. All right, let's go over a couple of highlight games. Do you want to kick it off this week?
Sure, let's do that. All right, what can we pick for a highlight game?
I mean, there's a couple obvious ones, I feel like.
Yeah, there's a few shellackings. How about Ravens Bucks?
Okay, yeah, we can start over there. I like that. I think Baker played almost good enough to win this game, and then proceeded to throw away the game at some points as well. And I was really sad about it because I think Baker has those moments where he's like really, really good and then really, really bad all in one. But I mean, Lamar Jackson's a running back, right?
Yeah. In defense of Baker, he lost Mike Evans really early, and he lost Chris Godwin probably right at the worst time.
Yeah, there were like 30-some seconds left, 40-some seconds left, and he's out for the season, they say.
Chris Godwin is out for the season, and he's a free agent next year, so he could have possibly played his last game as a Buck.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, he was saying his career was over. He said he's not going to, when he initially got hurt. But, I mean, everyone overreacts when they initially get hurt, which sucks. So.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, this game.
I think still despite that, the Bucks played well, in particular the fourth quarter. Started them out a little bit of a comeback. But the Ravens were just way too dominant. And they've won, 5 straight now?
They're on a roll.
They are on a roll.
Yeah, and we knew that they were going to eventually. I think the biggest part I'm looking at is Derrick Henry didn't score this game, but he went 15 carries for 169 yards.
Derrick Henry had a receiving touchdown.
Did he have a receiving touchdown? I didn't see that. I love that for him. I love that for him.
One catch, 13 yards, 1 touchdown.
I love that for him. Yeah, Lamar Jackson threw for 5 touchdowns. Not one of those went to Isaiah Likely, but, he had 5 of them. 2 to Mark Andrews, 1 to Justice Hill, 1 to Rashad Bateman, who led the team in receiving. 4 catches, 121 yards is insane. And then that 1 to Derrick Henry. And, I mean, not bad for a running back, right?
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. That's pretty good stats for a running back.
Marlon Humphrey had both interceptions this game. That's kind of nuts.
Shout out to Marlon Humphrey.
God,
you know who's been slowly like a sneaky good player for the Ravens that I didn't even realize was on the Ravens? Is fucking Kyle Van Noy.
Yeah, dog. He's been super, super quietly nice. They also have Ngakoue. They got him in like middle of the season, like a couple weeks ago or something like that.
Yeah, they signed Yannick Ngakoue.
Yeah, that defense is sneaky. And like you already have Marlon, Hamilton, Roquan Smith, like God, Odafe Alwe, like God, Eddie Jackson, like Jesus. That's crazy. Oh, Zay Flowers got a tackle. Did we lose it? Did we turn the ball over? There we go. Fumble. I was like, wait, how did this happen? But yeah, this team is crazy. This team is nuts. And honestly, the more I see them, I'm excited for when they inevitably get their Chiefs rematch because they were a toenail away from tying that game up.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. That'd be a fun playoff matchup. I'm telling you, like Chiefs, Ravens, and then winner plays the Texans in the conference championship would be great. Those would be the fun ones. I mean, anything else to comment on this game?
That's it. And I think we kind of said everything we needed to say.
Beautiful. I want to talk about. I feel like there's an obvious game that we're going to end up talking about eventually. But I wanted to highlight Texans-Packers because that was a phenomenal game. Texans did end up losing 24-22. But there's one extremely big story that came out of this game. Do you know what I'm going to say?
No, what is it?
Josh Jacobs has finally broken his streak. He got a receiving touchdown this game.
Hell yeah, good. Let's go with Josh Jacobs. I can root for Josh Jacobs now that he's not a Raider anymore. Yes,
he finally has caught a receiving touchdown. It was like one of the longest streaks in NFL history for someone not to catch a receiving touchdown as a running back. It was crazy. It's like 200 something receptions, and he finally got one. So I wanted to highlight that. But a good game. I mean, CJ Stroud unfortunately did not play great. He went 10 of 21 for 86 yards. But Joe Mixon played phenomenal. He had 25 carries, 115 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Whereas Jordan Love, I feel like, was throwing the ball really nice. A couple interceptions suck, but there was one play that I think it was. It might have been. It wasn't the touchdown to Josh Jacobs, but I think it was the touchdown to Tucker Kraft, in the back of the end zone where he lays out for it. Whoever the Texans defender is on that is beating himself up because that interception would have won the game. It literally went through his hands. I'm not exaggerating. The ball went through his hands.
Through his hands.
So that one is eating him up.
I did see that play.
Definitely eating him up. Obviously, the Packers picked up. They picked up a new kicker this week, did they not? Brandon McManus hits the game-winning field goal, his only field goal of the day. Beautiful time. I thought it was a fun game. And I did like that we had a battle of very young quarterbacks. I thought this was cool. And a couple of 5-2 teams now. I think these are both playoff teams. I was rooting for the Texans to win this game only because Packers getting knocked down a peg is obviously great for the Eagles. But it is what it is. I do respect the Packers, and it's nice to hold the tiebreaker against them. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Any other comments about this game?
I think that's enough.
All right.
I think you said everything that needed to be said.
Wrap. Next. What's next?
Well, I mean, Lions Vikings.
Have
right?
to. That was what I was going to talk about eventually. So it was either that one or my other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And well, my other one was either Lions Vikings or Texans Packers. So
Beautiful.
yeah, what a heck, dude.
What a game.
What a game.
Like, might be game of the year so far.
Potentially, I don't know, man. That Viking or Ravens Bengals game was crazy cool too.
That game was kind of nuts. But this one, it just felt like was so back and forth, and the first half was insane. It was like, oh, Minnesota's up 10 real quick. I'm like, wow. Kind of tough to see that. And then it's like, oh, Detroit just kind of cooked. And then it's like, oh, Minnesota's cooking. Oh.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, what a game.
It was a nice little back and forth where it kind of felt like everybody played well, you know?
Yeah, it was just like, oh, shoot, someone has to lose this game. It really came down to who had the football last at the end of the day. And that's kind of how that works sometimes. I think the funniest stat is, I think in the last like 3 or 4 games, Jared Goff has more passing touchdowns than he does incompletions.
Which is impressive. Like, I mean,
Yes.
there were talks when Jared Goff was on the Rams where like, this dude kind of fucking sucks. Like, the Rams made the Super Bowl despite Jared Goff.
They got
the
Stafford.
the Rams traded for Stafford, and we're like,
They
yeah,
won
they can be fine without Jared Goff. And to be fair, that was probably the right move for the Rams. They won the Super Bowl with Matt Stafford. But man, dude, Jared Goff in Detroit has been so exciting to watch.
And I'm happy they stuck with him, because there was a time where we talked where we thought he was just the bridge. We thought he was he was going to be a 1-2 season guy to help them get through this next stage in their rebuild, and then they were going to do it. But then Jared Goff impressed them. He signs big contract. They draft Jahmyr Gibbs. They draft Amon-Ra St. Brown. They pick up David Montgomery. They draft Sam Laporta. They draft Jameson Williams. They give him a bunch of great weapons.
Yeah, dude, they nail the last like 4 or 5 drafts, kind of, you know?
Dude, offensively, Sam Laporta, Jameson Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Amon-Ra have all been drafted. That's an insane class for them. And on top of it, they picked up David Montgomery. Big pickup. And then their defense got really good. They ended up adding, Penei Sewell is their lineman. Am I crazy? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Him. Brian Branch was drafted, right? Like, he didn't come over from anywhere. Like, that's a great pickup. Hutch. Can't even forget about Aiden Hutchinson. They're playing well. That defense is playing amazing despite Hutchinson being done for the season. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy. So, I think, without question, after this game, it is hard for me to not believe that the Lions are the best team in the NFC. And I think it's honestly, there's a gap, like a wide one, because the Niners are riddled. The teams at the top that we thought were going to compete aren't. Like, we thought the Eagles were going to be a little bit better. They aren't. The Commanders are doing better than them. I don't think the Commanders, what they're doing is sustainable because they have young pieces, and that's respectable, but they could still keep winning. They might even win the division and make the playoffs. It's fine. It happens. The Niners obviously aren't great. The Rams aren't as good as we thought they were. The South is nowhere near expected. Their division is the Vikings, who we think they obviously have talent. The Packers, who obviously have talent. Yeah. But the Lions have just been a step above all these teams. And it's just like, man, It's hard to compete in that, and it's like the teams that are competing, I feel like that can do that are all in the AFC right now, like the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Texans. Like that's the Bills. Like those are the scary teams, and it's like, oh well, we are still early. Like we're not at the halfway point of the season quite yet, so I get it. But it's like, man, some scary stuff. The Lions are. I mean, it's hard to not imagine them being the favorites right now from the NFC for sure.
Yeah.
Especially after this game. What a win.
Yeah, and a huge win for them because now they held the tiebreaker over who is the other team in the NFC North in particular, probably. Like, you know, we're talking Packers are good, Bears are good, but Lions and Vikings, I think, are the teams there, right? And now they have that tiebreaker, which matters a lot.
Well, they got to play them one more time, but they beat them on the road, and that's the important one. They won in Minnesota. Now they get them in Detroit, and that's huge.
Yeah.
So that's insane talks. Love it. The next highlight game, I kind of indecisive because I want to talk about the Chiefs Niners because I feel like it's worth it, but at the same time, I kind of want to talk about Russell Wilson cooking the Jets.
Yeah.
Let's go Chiefs Niners. I think it's the better one.
Okay.
Yeah, Russell Wilson cooked the Jets, by the way, guys. Devontae Adams did not make a difference. Aaron Rodgers on fraud watch, by the way. Just want to throw that out there, guys.
You know what would be a hot move?
Stafford for Rodgers.
No. Just trade Devontae Adams to the Giants so that he can lose to the Steelers 3 weeks in a row.
That'd be hot. I'm here for
Just
it.
have him go across the street for a week or something like that.
Yeah, and then they'll trade him back the following.
Yeah.
It
would be funny.
That'd be hilarious, honestly. So here's my thing on this game. The Niners lost 28-18. Obviously, they're hurt. We know it. I have to say it. First off, they scored 28 points. And Mahomes did not throw for a touchdown and had 2 interceptions. They were talking about magic. Kareem Hunt cooked. Mahomes got one on the ground, and McCole Hardman got one on the ground. That is it. I'm sorry. Their ground running game is good, despite not having Isaiah Pacheco. That's it. Like, I respect that Mahomes is the best quarterback potentially in the league. That is not what won them this football game.
No, not even a little bit.
He did not win the football game. He threw 2 interceptions. He barely threw for 150 yards. He got outplayed by like 7 other quarterbacks this week. He's not even close, okay? Fortunately, he had to run into Brock Purdy. And Brock Purdy played worse.
Yes.
And I have to put Brock Purdy on fraud watch too. I was a big hater when we talked about it initially. I was like, no, Brock Purdy is a system quarterback. That is end of discussion. He's a system quarterback, end of discussion. And then the Super Bowl happened. Like that, the last year happened, and I after the Super Bowl, we got to preseason stuff, and I said, Brock Purdy, I have to respect you a little bit more this season. I think you're playing well. And then the season happened. He does not
season happened.
Then he does not have Christian McCaffrey. He does not have Debo for a game. He doesn't have Kittle for a couple games. Trent Williams got tossed this game, I'm pretty sure, for punching someone. He does not have Ayuk is out for the rest of the season. He does not have pieces that actually make him good. And he threw 3 interceptions. Granted, he ran for 2 touchdowns, but he threw 3 interceptions, right? Like that's 17-31, 3 interceptions. Like we keep talking about how like I cannot believe the media. Like the media pisses me off so much because I think it's just ego beef at this point. But you cannot tell me at this point that Hurts is playing worse than Purdy. And I say this every time.
No.
It's absurd. Like I get it. We do have AJ Brown. We do have Smitty. I get it. We have Saquon Barkley. I get it. But this is the same thing we were talking about last season when Hurts literally won the game against the Bills, won the game against the Dolphins, but he turned the ball over a couple times. Oh my gosh, he's going to lose them the game. They didn't end the season well, of course. Niners were a big reason why we got fucked, and that's okay. But this is the same shit. This is worse because they're losing the games. I'm sorry. The Niners, listen, I hear y'all out. Y'all are hurt, and it sucks. But you were giving us so much shit. I cannot let it pass. Brock Purdy is a system quarterback. He needs elite talent to be decent. This isn't even a decent game. This is a bad game. This is a terrible game. He threw 3 picks. And granted, this defense is phenomenal. It's a great defense. He threw an interception to Christian Roland Wallace. I don't even know who that is. Okay? So that's all I'm going to say. Side note, the Chiefs defense is winning this, is the reason they're 6-0. It's not Patrick Mahomes this season. Respectfully.
No, it's not.
It's not the offense. But Mahomes makes plays here and then to help them get the wins. Don't get me wrong. Like, he threw like a 3rd down play that basically like helped them seal the deal. And that's fine. He ran a touchdown in, right? That helps. But like, the beginning of this game, and I kid you not, was by far one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. It was punt by the Niners. And I'm going to alternating teams at this point, right? Punt, Niners start. Then it's turnover on downs. Teams exchange interceptions. Team exchange points. Niners get a field goal. We go to the second quarter. What is that? These are 2 elite teams. Elite teams. We're flaming the Eagles for not scoring a freaking first quarter touchdown. Look at this shit. At least we're not turning the ball over like that. God damn. Anyway, yeah, party's on fraud watch. Mahomes, you're just lucky your team's 6-0 right now. Because if they were 3-3, we'd have to have a conversation.
Probably, yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure he's thrown more interceptions than he's thrown touchdowns this season.
I saw a tweet today. It's like Chiefs are sticking with Patrick Mahomes in the long term, and everybody's like, "Cool, thanks for the update."
Yeah, it's crazy to me that we are like, "Oh yeah, Mahomes is playing out of his mind, great quarterback, best in the league, blah blah blah." Dude is the best completions percentage of his career right now, by the way, 67.9 for 1,389, 1,389 yards. He has 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions on the season.
I mean, Mahomes doesn't need to be the big player anymore.
He doesn't have to be. I understand that they're 6-0, but like,
that good.
Come on, bro. We can't keep saying this like we love him. I get he's elite, but Jesus Christ, dude. Let's talk about Lamar Jackson. Let's talk about Lamar Jackson. Let's talk about Josh Allen.
Yeah.
That's my opinion, though. All right. That's all the highlight games. Anything else? Anything else you want to go over? By the way, Russell Wilson looked great, and he shouted out Justin Fields. And I love that. Love that. When they won in the post-game interview, they were like, "Yeah, we wouldn't be here without Justin, man. He's a great player. He did great things. I'm just happy to have this opportunity." I'm like, that's a real man right there. I mean, dude, 16 of 29, 264 yards and 2 touchdowns. It's kind of nice. Beating the Jets by 22 points. Beautiful day. All right. But that is it. How did we do in Preds? How did we do in the Preddies?
Well, you have officially taken a 1-game lead. You went a clean, 11-4. I went 10-5. So both of us had pretty decent weeks.
Pretty great weeks, honestly. Could have been worse.
You just had a better week than I.
Yeah, by 1 game. Shout out to the, I think it was the Lions-Vikings game. That was the difference maker. Shout out to that game. And honestly, could have went either way.
It could have went either way.
All right. Well, that is it for Preddies. So we're going to dive right into week 8.
Let's do it.
I'm excited for this week. I think this is going to be a good week of football. Once again, no one's on bye this week. No bye weeks this week.
That's right. Bye is on bye.
Interesting. Yeah.
We get no byes week 8.
Yeah. No. Is it because of deadline stuff? Is that all?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Last year they had just like one random week in the middle of the year where they didn't have any byes either.
NFL trade deadline is November 5th, which would be
so
right
that's
after...
next week. That's next Tuesday. That's 1 week from...
Oh, it's right after week...
2 weeks from...
It's the day after week
2
9
weeks from
ends.
today.
It's the day after week 9 ends. So it's right after week 9. So we could be seeing a move happen this week, maybe into next week, somewhere around there. So there's that. So, cool. Let's talk about our week 8 Preddies. Vikings are taking... Oh, no, wait. Yeah, that's right, week. Vikings are taking on the Rams. I'm on yours, not mine. That's stupid. Vikings are taking on the Rams on Thursday Night Football. I believe Cooper Kupp is back officially for this game. Potential for Puka Nacua to play. I think he got activated. I highly doubt he plays because it's a Thursday night game.
Right.
Oh, wait. Before we go into Preds, there was some flexing that happened. You see that shit? Eagles and Bengals went to 1 p.m. and then I don't remember who got moved down, but someone got moved to a 4 o'clock game. I think it was Bears Commanders.
It was Jags. It was
in week 9. We got another flex. The Jags Eagles on Sunday Night Football. The Doug Peterson return to Philly game. got flexed.
Got flexed out for Colts Vikings.
Which is insane. Respectfully. I think that's crazy. Like, I don't mind not playing on primetime, but like, you looked at the lineup and you said, yeah, guys, let's throw the Colts and the Vikings there instead.
Yeah.
Like, not Lions Packers.
Nope, they picked Colts Vikings.
Not Lions Packers.
Nope, Colts Vikings.
Not Dolphins Bills.
Nope, they picked Colts Vikings.
Crazy, bro. I'm actually
Not Rams Seahawks.
Like, at least leave us in that case. Anyway, what's cool is I will be back to live reacting games week 9. And I was so excited to be back on Sunday Night Football, and they said no. I was like, you motherfucker. I was so mad. I was like, there's no way I'm back. And they're like, yeah, by the way, guys, we're not doing it. So yeah, week 9, I get to be back. My next stream back was almost Commanders Eagles in week 11, but I get to be back because I don't work Sundays again until week 18, which is awesome. So very excited about that. So yeah, cool. Vikings Rams are playing this week. Fucking they double flex the Eagles, by the way. They don't like us. They flexed us out of 425 on a freaking against the Bengals, and that's a good game.
I think so too.
That's crazy, bro. They were like, yeah, Bears Commanders is better. I'm like, that hurts my soul a little bit.
Yeah.
It hurts my soul. I keep forgetting Caleb Williams is a football player. Not gonna lie to you. I guess that's why. That makes sense now. It's the 2 picks, right? It's the top 2 quarterbacks class going at each other. Maybe.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't think of that. That's probably what it is. Yeah.
Why us and not like Panthers Broncos? Respectfully.
Because it's in Denver.
But it's the Panthers.
But it's in Denver.
Yeah, but we're in Cincinnati.
But Denver that's 11 a.m. in Denver if we have a morning game. They don't like to put West Coast teams in the morning. For that reason.
That's understandable. Understandable. Have a nice day. But why did the... No. Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, well. Yeah, I got played. All right. Anyway, moving right along. Vikings
Because it's
at
in
Rams.
Denver.
That's a great reason. Yeah, can't argue about that logic.
It's under the sauce.
That was way funnier than it needed to be. All right, Vikings at Rams. Who are you taking?
Vikings on the road. Give me the Vikings.
Same.
I think they have a bounce back game from a tight race against the Lions. I think the Rams are just too questionable right now.
Ooh, I'm excited to see Cup back, though. Hopefully his health is great and will long live and prosper. But I'm also taking Minnesota to win this game.
Yeah.
God, dude. It's
Okay,
under the
on
sauce.
Sunday morning,
Sunday morning.
we got Ravens and Browns, an NFC North or AFC North matchup. Excuse me.
A banger.
Yeah, banger alert.
Banger division alert. Ravens. Who's ready for Lamar Jackson to be not playing in the third quarter?
God, I could see it. Yeah, I'm going with the Ravens. I think they're gonna
yeah.
beat the shit out of the Browns.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough, dude. The only thing is, their run defense is really good. The Browns, so Derrick Henry's probably not gonna have as much fun of a time, and it's a divisional matchup, so like those are all these things to think about. I don't think the Browns win. It's in Cleveland, but like I'm just saying things to think about. So give me Baltimore for sure. All right, Titans.
Okay, we got Titans,
Jesus
Lions
Christ.
in Detroit.
I'm so sorry, Tennessee, that you have to.
Yeah,
suffer
talk about
this.
another shellacking.
I'm
I'm
so
going
sorry
with the
y'all gotta deal with
Lions.
this. Yeah, give me the Lions, bro. I'm so sorry y'all have to deal with this. Tough game. All right, well, yeah, those are some football games. So Colts at Texans is slightly more interesting.
That's definitely much more interesting because you got 4-3 Colts, you got 5-2 Texans in an AFC South
this is
matchup. The
divisional,
AFC
yeah.
South always goes wild.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck's going on in the AFC South, but like they're doing crack in the AFC South. These games are always
Something crazy.
such a toss up.
I mean, their week 1 matchup was insane. Like they've already played once this season in Indy.
Yeah.
And the Texans won by 2. So like what's gonna happen here? Who knows? But I'm feeling the Texans win again because they're at home. But you never know. Like it's that crazy of a season right now. So I think it's gonna be fun as all get out. So
I am also going Houston at home.
It should be a great game, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, side note, the NBA is back today. Today's NBA tip-off. The Knicks play Boston. The Minnesota's heading to LA to play the Lakers, and the Knicks are getting their shit rocked by Boston right now. It's a 25-point game. I'm not exaggerating. It's tough. All right.
Poor Boston. Good for Boston. It's been so long since they've seen a team raise a banner. That's a joke. You can laugh.
I don't joke about that shit. They beat the Mavericks. They beat the Mavericks in 5 fucking games. They cooked us, bro.
I remember. I was there.
Yeah, I was disappointed, dude. I've in 2 years, I've had to watch some crazy stuff for my mental health as a sports fan. The Eagles have lost the Super Bowl. The Mavericks have been to the finals for the first time since 2011, and guess what? They got fucked. We just ran into one of the best teams of our. Oh my gosh, dude!
It's all right. The Seahawks Broncos Super Bowl was officially 10 years ago. Now,
but you guys won one right after. Like you have to think about
not
that.
Right after.
It was like what, a couple of seasons?
2 seasons after.
Yeah, a couple of seasons. It was right after.
No, right after.
Yeah, I understand.
Patriots beat the Seahawks.
That's valid.
Patriots do the Lord's work.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, that's something I feel like we haven't like talked about is the fact that the Patriots really did. You were definitely rooting for the Patriots that Super Bowl. Maybe.
I don't really know what the answer was, if I'm being honest. I think I just showed up and watched the game.
I was just hyped about the interception.
I think I was in my Patriots hater era because the Patriots were arguably the Broncos' biggest rival at the time.
That's valid.
You know,
then,
so I bet you I was rooting for the Seahawks.
But then the Seahawks just fisted y'all, so who knows? I
had this conversation with a coworker years later who was a Patriots fan. And I'm like, in hindsight, as a child, I hated the Patriots because I was jealous of the Patriots. You know, nowadays, it's like I still stick to my words of I like one team, I hate one team, and I don't give a shit about the other 30.
Mm-hmm. Valid. All right.
Anyways,
we both picked
Jags are back in the we both picked the Texans. Jags are back in the States. Yep. They're hosting the Packers this week.
Nice little
in Duval County.
Nice little 1-1 overseas. They're gonna continue losing in the States though. The Packers are coming to town, and Packers are looking great. So give me the Packers.
I'm also gonna go Green Bay on the road. Jags had a very impressive win last week against the Patriots.
Yeah,
who are not good.
That's the Patriots though. That's my mindset right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Green Bay.
Yep. All right. The only toss-up it feels like is the Colts-Texans game so far. Is that bad? That feels like my only toss-up game so far.
I think the next game is a bit of a toss-up.
Yeah, so far. Cardinals-Dolphins for the opposite reason of Texans-Colts.
Yeah, somebody's got to lose that.
Yeah, and it feels weird because Tua's back. I think Tua's playing this game.
Is he back officially? I think he was activated.
He was never on the IR. I don't think. Is on track to return for the Miami Dolphins that missed multiple weeks concussion on Monday. Yeah, so he's supposed to play.
I kind of feel like that's a difference maker.
It's a huge difference maker.
I'm going to change my pick. I was taking the Cardinals. I'm going to pick the Dolphins.
Yeah, I was always taking the Dolphins because I don't think the Cardinals are playing well. I don't think they have Marvin Harrison again. Which sucks.
Yeah.
They just barely beat the Chargers at home. Yeah, no. Give me that. Yeah, give me that. Give me the Dolphins. Jets at Patriots.
God. What a matchup.
Yeah, and I feel like the Jets are just a way better team. Like even though
it's crazy. It's crazy. Like seeing what the Jets have done the last few weeks and agreeing with you says a lot about the Patriots.
Well, they're not a good team. And I think the Jets are just a better football team. So I'm going to take the Jets.
I'm going to go with the New York Jets as well on the road.
Falcons at Bucks. So Falcons are who we thought they were.
The Falcons are who they thought they were. We picked the Falcons. Of course, they got their shit rocked by the Seahawks. Right. Just to keep us honest.
Yeah.
Is this the second time the Jets play the Patriots, by the way?
No.
Yeah, they played week 3.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, the Jets did win that game, huh? It's one of their 2 wins.
Yeah.
Let's make it 3.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. The Jets, man. Yeah, Falcons at Bucks is crazy, by the way. Fun divisional matchup. There's a lot of weird divisional matchups this week, by the way. Falcons at Bucks is cool. I think this is actually a really important game for both of these teams.
This is a huge game.
Because they played
another
each other already, right?
rematch. They played Thursday night just a few weeks ago.
Yeah. And
we picked the Buccaneers to win.
the
Falcons
won.
did win.
In a nail.
I believe in the Bucks again.
I also believe in the Bucks. Actually, I take it back. I just thought of something.
No,
There's a strong
they're out,
chance
like all their wide
they
receivers.
don't have Godwin. There's a strong chance they don't have. There's a strong chance they don't have Mike Evans. Mike Evans actually. They said he wasn't gonna play until like week 11. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Falcons. Unfortunately, I don't want to, but I don't trust no Cade. I mean, no Mike Evans, no Chris Godwin. Your best receiver essentially becomes Cade Otton. That's tough.
Gosh, I'm sticking to my guns. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go with Tampa.
I'm gonna take the Falcons. I'm really sad to say it though. I kind of wanted to take the Bucks this week.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Bears at Commanders.
We got
this is a good
Commies and the Bears. Like we said, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, first and second picks this year, playing each other.
Kind of dope, actually. Both these teams are winning, 4-2, 5-2. One of these teams will have their 3rd loss of the season. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think both of these games benefit the Eagles.
Right.
Like, I'm not even exaggerating. Both of these games, no matter who loses, it benefits the Eagles. Because as long as the Eagles win, they move over the Bears. If the Commanders lose and the Eagles win, I think we move over the Commanders.
Yeah.
So a win's a win. I prefer the Commanders to lose for Eagles' sake, but I think the Commanders are a better team, especially at home. So give me the Commanders to win this football game.
Sorry, got distracted.
I thought you were deep in thought, so we'll keep it in. It's a tough one.
There's something that I thought of. Oh, Bears are coming off a bye.
Right. But
Sorry,
Commanders.
there's loud
wait,
vehicles. There's loud vehicles
Is
outside.
Jaden Daniels playing? He got hurt at the end of last game. I just thought about it. Hopeful. Because they blew out the Panthers. So, like. Oh, he's in good spirits, but it's a rib injury. I'm changing my pick.
I think I'm also going to go with the Bears.
I'm changing my pick. Jaden Daniels is. I don't think he plays. A rib injury is detrimental to his play style.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bears.
Yeah, Bears. Yeah, Bears. Bears on the road, man. Like I said, this benefits the Eagles either way, so I'm happy with this game. This game's a good game for us. Because we also have to play the Commanders twice still. We haven't played them yet. Do we play the Bears this season? No, we don't play the North. We play the South. All right. This is the what is this? The Drew Brees Bowl? Saints at Chargers?
Now that's a pull. Yeah, what else would this be though? The Drew Brees Bowl.
I almost said the Phillip Rivers Bowl, but I was like, that's not right. See, it's another quarterback. It's another white quarterback that played with both these teams.
Yeah, it's another white dude.
What's the other guy? It's Drew Brees. Just the other guy. Not a guy that's like second in a lot of records or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like either of these teams personally, but I trust the Chargers a little bit more to go out and win this football game, especially since they're at home. And the Saints are kind of injury riddled right now. No Derek Carr, no Rashid Shaheed, a lot of unfortunate circumstances. So I'm gonna take the Chargers this week.
I'm also going with the Chargers.
Too
many question marks in the Saints.
Yeah, too many question marks. Bills at Seahawks.
This is low-key kind of a good game.
I was going to say, this might be low-key the maybe game of the week. Let me look. Falcons, Bucks, probably better. Cowboys, Niners is kind of cool, but the Niners are too injury-ridden. Cowboys are mid.
I'm gonna say this is game of the week.
It might be game of the week.
I'll say it.
Like the other one that, again, I'm not trying to be biased, but Eagles Bengals is kind of hot.
I think Colts Texans is cool too.
I think it's also hot. Yeah. The other one is like Bucks Falcons. Like those four are probably the better games.
I think the winner is Bills Seahawks.
Yeah, I agree. Bills Seahawks for sure.
Okay, so Bills on the road against the Seahawks. Both these teams very solid. Seahawks coming off a huge bounce back win.
Yep. Currently leading
and it's in Seattle.
And currently leading the division.
And it's in Seattle. If this was in Buffalo, I think I'd take the Bills 10 times out of 10. But it's in Seattle, so I think I take the Bills like 7 times out of 10. And this is one of them. I'm going to go with Buffalo.
So the only thing that's holding me back here on this situation is the Bills haven't looked great on the road at all. They look phenomenal when they're playing at home, but if they're on the road against a bad team, they're fine. But at home, they've looked really, really good. But again, they've been struggling minorly on the road. I'm going to take Buffalo still, but I think it's a lot closer of a game than I feel like it is in my mental. So, yeah.
Yep. Speaking of the aforementioned flexed Eagles-Bengals, here's them now.
Some bullshit, by the way.
We got a bird and a cat. Both of our teams are playing cat teams this week, by the way.
Kind of nuts.
Eagles-Bengals in Cincinnati.
Bengals have strung together a couple of wins. However, they've played the exact same teams we've played.
Giants and the Browns.
Yeah, we just flipped. Wait, that's crazy.
That is kind of crazy.
That's wild. Wait.
Dude, this is the Browns Giants Bowl.
Yeah, right? Wild stuff there. Wait, that's kind of nuts. The Bengals have been losing games, but they've been losing to teams that are good. The Eagles have lost also to the Falcons and the Bucks, who we've said are somewhat decent teams. Here's my biggest thing with this game is, like I said before, the Eagles, I don't know what Vic Fangio has figured out, but they have been figuring out how to attack the quarterback. Like, they got away with 8 sacks on Daniel Jones. They got, I think, 6 against Deshaun Watson the week prior. So a lot of good things there. And I think the Bengals is Swiss cheese. Their offensive line is very easy to exploit. We've seen it. We've seen Joe Burrow get blasted in weeks past, just this season. Man. I think my mental says the last time I picked against the Eagles, I regretted it. Because we won, I think. And I don't think I mentally can pick against them again. For a while, at least. I think I picked against them against the Saints, and I regret it instantly. Because the defense is starting to click. Because, weeks 1 and 2, Packers, we won in a shootout. And the biggest thing is A.J. Brown, right? We're 3-0 when A.J. Brown plays. Which, worth noting, by the way. We're 1 and 2 without him. Lost a close game against the Falcons, 1-point game. Beat the Saints, held them low. The Buccaneers are the only team to really blast us on defense. Maybe the Packers a little bit, but I think there was, I blame the Brazil field. Let's be real. I'm going to go with the Eagles. I think picking against them is not worth it this week. I think this is a very winnable game. I will say, though, I'm not surprised that the Bengals come out and beat us. For sure. Because I think this is one of our toughest opponents for the rest of the season. Outside of maybe Cowboys. The Cowboys games we have to play. But Cowboys and Commanders. That's really it. I think everything else is really, really easy. So, easier, and I think we get the Ravens too, and that's about it. So I'm gonna go with the Birds. I think this is a really important win that they have to try to get, especially on the road.
I think the Eagles match up nicely with the Bengals for a lot of the reasons you said. The Swiss cheese O-line, I think, being the biggest thing. So I'm also gonna go with the Eagles on the road.
I honestly wasn't even surprised that I thought you were for sure Bengals. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought it was for sure. The offense is scary, but I think our like we said earlier, I think
the Eagles secondary is their strength.
That's what I was about to say. Our secondary's been phenomenal this season.
It feels like the Eagles' strengths exploit the Bengals.
Yeah.
I think it's a mismatch for the Bengals.
Right.
If you consider them on paper, the Bengals might be a better team. But I think the Eagles match up well against the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful this game.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Speaking of Broncos, Panthers are taking on the Broncos in Denver. Yeah,
A
dude.
Super Bowl rematch from like 8 years ago. Does anybody actually remember that?
Yeah, you do. Super Bowl
I
50.
do. It's me. That's about it. I think that's left.
I remember that 'cause I watched Cam
I'm
Newton not dive on a football. I remember that shit.
Yeah, I remember I watched Von Miller strip sack Cam Newton at the beginning of the game and Malik Jackson pick it up and score the opening touchdown. I think my exact words were, "Oh, look at that!" If I remember that vividly.
Yeah, that's crazy. But I am going to take the Broncos. I think the Panthers
I'm also
suck.
going with the Broncos. Yeah, Panthers are ass.
This isn't even
One thing with the Panthers though, Andy Dalton and his family were in a car accident
did
today,
see that.
so it didn't seem like anything major, but still, we hope
prayers up.
all is well for them.
Prayers up.
Yes, we hope for your health and safety, so that the Broncos can beat you on Sunday.
Correct.
Fair and square.
Yeah, we don't want any issues.
Yeah, no shenanigans.
Correct. Yeah. All right. Big divisional matchup in Vegas this week. Chiefs taking on the Raiders.
Yep. Raiders. This game is usually one of my favorites to try to pick an upset on the behalf of the Raiders.
And it seems like the
Is
Raiders
this
do it
particular
all the
matchup in
time.
Vegas? But God, that's a really hard sell right now. Raiders are reeling. Chiefs are undefeated. I'm going with the Chiefs on the road.
The only thing is that the Chiefs lost Aiden. He's out for a few weeks, and I mean that doesn't make a difference because it's just Gardner Minshew. But my biggest thing with this is that it's like
The Raiders signed somebody.
they did sign a quarterback.
They signed Desmond Ritter. That's who it was. They signed Desmond
Did they
Ritter off the
actually?
Cardinals. They signed Desmond Ritter off the Cardinals practice squad.
Poor Desmond
I
Ritter.
believe to back up Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, he is.
But still.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. They signed Ritter, O'Connell on IR. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna take the Chiefs because I don't think the Raiders are good. But if there's gonna be an upset, this feels like the makings of one potentially.
Yep, I'm going with the Chiefs.
Okay. These are some crazy primetime games, by the way. Cowboys at Niners. Cowboys will never get flexed a day in their life when they're playing the Niners. I think this is a great game.
Yeah, over Jerry Jones' still living dead body.
Yeah, correct. I think it's gonna be a phenomenal game. Actually, kind of excited about this one because at the end of the day, no matter what, Eagles benefit from it.
Yep.
I don't want to see either of these teams win. I'm actually rooting for a tie, realistically. But
We get one a year. Is this going to be it?
I'll cry. I literally will cry tears of joy if this ends up in a tie. I'll literally laugh so hard if this is the tie of the season. It's in San Fran. However, I think San Fran is way too hurt, and I don't think I do think that we're going to see a couple of interceptions from both sides of this game. I think we're going to see a total of 4 interceptions total in this game. That's my guess. That's my guesstimate. I am going to take the Cowboys, though. I don't like picking the Cowboys to win games. This is one of them. I just don't trust the Niners right now. I don't know. It's like it's something. Something's off. So.
Yep. Cowboys are coming off a bye. 49ers are in the hospital at this point.
Correct.
So I'm going with the Cowboys on the road. As much as I don't trust the Cowboys, I think all logic says the Cowboys win.
Yeah, we're in the same boat on that one. And then Monday night, Giants head to
Honestly, and like we got to feel bad for Cowboys, man. The World Series right now is Dodgers and Yankees.
Yeah, they're
Game 1 is soon. Cowboys fans are
in shambles.
in a bind.
They're in shambles.
They got to pick one.
I can't believe
have both.
I can't believe one of those teams has to win. I literally was rooting for. I honestly desperately wanted the Mets. I'm not even capping. It would have been so cool.
Listen, I am that Dodgers fan, so I was not rooting for the Mets. But from a neutral perspective, I understand.
Yeah, from a neutral.
Without condemning nor condoning, I understand wanting the Mets to go to the World
That would
Series.
have been crazy to have Yankees,
Yeah.
Mets. New York would have been in shambles. It would have been so fun to watch. Yeah. So yeah, Giants, Steelers is next, by the way, and yeah, Giants aren't good. Steelers are good. So if you saw the Eagles get 8
It
sacks,
feels easy.
I feel
Yeah.
bad that I'm scared what TJ Watt is gonna do, and
Yeah.
they just better be lucky that the Giants don't start a black quarterback. That's all I'm gonna say. So give me the Steelers.
Jesus.
It's true. TJ Watt. Have you seen the stats on it? It's actually a fact.
No. What are these stats?
Dude, he sacks black quarterbacks significantly more than he sacks white quarterbacks. There's like a stat on it. I have to find the tweet. It was crazy work.
Interesting.
It was crazy work. So yeah, we don't rock with TJ. Some insane work.
I'm going with the Steelers though. Regardless.
Yeah. No. Easy money. I
Maybe
don't
listen. Maybe if Daniel Jones plays bad enough, Drew Lock will come in, and he allegedly has a gigantic penis. Maybe that will just frighten DJ Watt.
I'll tell you right now, if this is the Russell Wilson shitter game, and the Giants win this, I'm gonna lose my mind.
I'm gonna lose. Yeah.
So I think we only had one different this week.
That's it. Falcons Bucks.
Bucks. That was it. I mean, a lot of these felt like pretty easy toss-ups. I think only 4 games felt like they could have went one way or the other.
Yeah.
That's about it. Everything else feels pretty straightforward. So then for context, everyone, Vikings, Ravens, Lions, Texans, Packers, Dolphins, Jets, Falcons, Bears, Chargers, Bills, Eagles, Broncos, Chiefs, Cowboys, Steelers for me. And then you have the exact same thing, just flip the Falcons for the Bucks.
Yep, I got Vikings, Ravens, Lions, Texans, Packers, Dolphins, Jets, Bucks, Bears, Chargers, Bills, Eagles, Broncos, Chiefs, Cowboys, Steelers.
Yeah, I almost picked the Bengals. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I'm excited. I love. This is a good test for the Eagles. I'm excited about this game. I'm excited to watch it, very much so. And there's a chance both our teams come out here, get back, and we come to the podcast. We have 5 wins each. Crazy.
Who knows?
Could be. That's something to look forward to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is all I have. Anything else?
I got nothing, man.
Honestly, it has been a phenomenal podcast episode as always. Always a blast to sit down and record. If you guys enjoyed, always leave a like, comment, all that fun stuff to help the algorithm is appreciated. NBA is back, so we are all very excited. The Mavericks don't play till Thursday, so that sucks, but I'm just happy to have some NBA basketball back along with my NFL football, and don't have to listen to baseball for a while. So that is always like my.
It's the World Series. What are you talking
Bro,
about?
I'm tired of baseball, bro. People like baseball too much. I like baseball a lot. I just don't like baseball like that, dude. And I live in Chicago, so it's like it's always like it's like the Cubs are decent, and then the White Sox set the record for most losses in a season this season. So it's like, come on now, type thing. I'm tired of baseball. And then like the Yankees Dodgers is insane. I'm good to if the Dodgers win though. I'm happy for Shohei. He definitely deserves a ring after dealing with the Angels for as long as he did. And then like I'm okay if the Yankees win because Rizzo. Rizzo's a Cub, former Cub, and I love Anthony Rizzo. So we love Anthony Rizzo in this household.
I was trying to remember Anthony Rizzo's first name. I'm like, what is Anthony Rizzo's first name? I'm like, oh, Ray Rizzo. No, that's not Ray Rizzo.
Yeah, nope, not Ray Rizzo.
Ray Rizzo does not play professional baseball, but Ray
not.
Rizzo is the GOAT.
Yeah, Ray Rizzo's there, but not a baseball player. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great evening. Eric, you got anything to add to end this podcast off?
Dude, I got nothing. You know me.
Of course. No. Yeah, next podcast we have to talk about your birthday. I had to double check.
That is true.
Double check. Next podcast episode.
Yep, my birthday present is the Broncos are gonna get their shit rocked by the Ravens.
It's okay.
I remember this vivid. I tell this story at least once every season. I think I've already told it 3 times. Is the first year under Josh McDaniels, the Broncos started the season 6-0, had their bye week, came back, lost their first game of the season on my birthday to the Ravens, and finished the season 8-8 and missed the playoffs. I'll never forget it.
Yeah, the Eagles have had.
That's why Josh McDaniels, like, he's up there for greatest villains of all time in my handbook.
Got it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Eagles blown out.
It's on site.
Absolutely on site. Yeah, the Eagles have been participants in 2 blowouts this season. Oh, I forgot to add, the Eagles blew out a team for the first time since the 2022 playoffs. It was the first time we beat a team by more than 1 score.
Really?
Yes. We've been blown out multiple times since then.
Yeah.
But we have not blown a team out. Like, we've never beaten a team by more than 1 score since that game. Since the game, the Niners game where we went to the conference championship. It's the last time we beat a team by double digits. It's crazy. Insane work, by the way. Actually, 9 points or more. So no double digits. Crazy odds. Yeah, our present this season was the Eagles have actually been in a close game every game and had a chance to win pretty much everything except for the game that was on my birthday.
Oh,
It was the game we got smacked by the Bucks and nobody was playing. No Smitty, no AJ, no Dallas, nobody. Lane Johnson was out. Crazy work. All right. Thank you guys all for listening or watching wherever you are enjoying the podcast and your podcast. This has been awesome. Always good to sit down and talk. Excited for some more football, and we're almost at the halfway mark of this season, which we will talk about next week. With that being said,
holy shit!
right. With that being said, my name is Davion. With me, as always, is Eric, and we are out of here from Behind the Plays. Peace.
See ya.